Okay, boys and girls, this is Miss Lane, and today we're going to learn about the states of matter. That's something that we already covered a little bit yesterday in class, but we're just going to review a little bit today before we get into our activity. So first of all, our objectives for the day. Students will need to use their observational skills to observe the objects at the stations. Students will need to use these observations to classify matter. Students will need to communicate with their peers in their groups about how to classify the objects they are given. They will also need to discuss their results as a class. And finally, students will need to classify the objects they are given into solid, liquid, or gas. And that brings us to our standards for this lesson. Our first standard is for chemistry. We will provide evidence from the investigations to describe the effect that changes in temperatures have on the properties of matter. And then our second standard, we will recognize that clear communication is an essential part of doing science. Okay, so what I need you guys to do right now is look around the room. Take out a piece of paper and write down the objects in the room that are made out of matter. So go ahead and do that. I'll give you guys a couple minutes and then we'll move on. But keep this list because we will review it later on in class. Okay, a couple more seconds, guys. Okay, let's move on. Now that you have that list, put that to the side for right this second. We will come back to that later, so don't lose it. So next we will complete our scratch. Remember we went over our scratches in class the other day and how we can create them? Well, I've made one and I need you guys to answer the questions on it. Okay, so this is our scratch. It's about the states of matter. As you can see, there are 6 objects on the screen. So first, what I need you to do is select the penguin and then follow the instructions on the scratch. Once you guys finish this, we will move on to our next activity. But first, I need you guys to answer the questions so we can see who has a clear idea of what a solid, liquid, and a gas is. So once you guys are done with that, we will then split up into our groups and we'll do our stations, where we can actually look at different objects and touch them and feel them and figure out which ones are solids, liquids, and gases.